downtown, baby. I know you're testing me. 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 You know I do it live when I roll. You know I keep your mind in the zone. You know you tell your friends when you go. See, you know I keep it tight, girl.
What's up, everybody? You're live with me, Bebé Davis. You're at Bebé Loves Sports right here on YouTube, where sports and gaming is the exquisite fusion. Check it out. It's Thursday. We made it to Thursday. How you all doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing well. No complaints, okay? No complaints whatsoever. So, Thursday night football. Facing off is my Packers and the 49ers. My previous rant, there was a plot test. A plot test. So, you know, universe tests you, but it's all good. This is supposed to be chill and roll, house divided, a little downtime, you know, watching this game together, because my house divided is divided. But it didn't happen. We had a little plot test. Okay, can I throw some peanut on?
We would even watch the sun go together. I know you testing me. 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 I know you testing me.
I love me some Peven Everett, okay? He follows me on my lifestyle channel, which is severely being tested, if we want to talk about tests. But at any rate, we couldn't get the downtime right, but the universe is like, it's cool, we'll get it done. But I still gotta move forward. You know, you gotta move forward in life, and we had that little downtime. Now, in my rant earlier, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so embarrassing, especially when you're in a house divided, and you're just like, is my team gonna get daggered? Because I talked about those daggers, and I want to continue to talk about them right now as we are in the second half of this game. And thankfully, just say if we were on our downtime. Oh my gosh, the Packers are doing so good. But I still have my gripes like everyone else, as in to say, hey, you got to play lights out. I mean, that's just mantra. And then especially when we're moving through these weeks. We're in November. 2020 is winding up. Okay? And when you have players that smell blood in the water, or they can feel like, hey, we might not have a chance to get into the playoffs, championships, we can still deal those daggers. And that's what happens. This is like total focus where you cannot slip at any time, because Packers, we got on the board, and then of course 49ers jumped on the board. Then we start coming in with those back-to-back quarterback style, player style, runs style, passes style, and just these touchdowns just kept going. But still, we still are leading in the NFC North. But right there on the heels of us is the Bears. Packers lost. The only reason we're back up top was because of the Saints. Gave the L to the Chicago Bears. And that flipped it. So it can be flipped again, but we got to hold on to it. So right now, we're live, and I'm so excited about this game because I love what I'm seeing, but at the same time, it's just a lot of discussions going on. Just a lot of discussions, not just about this game. You got the Bills coming up with the Seattle Seahawks. Like right now, we got everybody talking about it, so let's listen in a little bit.
Is coming back off an injury. I can't wait to see that defense start to heat up and catch up with that offense. Super Bowl caliber team.
And Snacks could be coming off the
Off the snacks.
You know what? You're talking about the Kansas City, how they needed to balance it up.
Yeah.
One of the things about great offensive coordinators, and Andy Reid, not only a great head coach, but a coordinator, is the fact they know when they can run, and they run a lot. Plant looks like that. They know they can run, and when they know they can pass, they pass a lot.
Terry Bradshaw.
They'll do what you give them. So I know what you're
doing
saying.
both. It kills you with the defense.
That's perfect, yeah.
Well, the Green Bay Packers have been taking what they had been given in the first half, and they are flying high. Up 21-3, second half from Santa Clara, right after this.
But I still say to all of that, okay, we're going to be snacking and eating and all that good stuff here. We're just not that team unless you have that lead that you just keep beating them down and beating them down and beating them down. And we just don't have that. We got the lead. Maybe we can get in there and do some play lights out, no matter what the score is. I just feel like we get a little too comfortable as a team, and it really just doesn't start to look good for us. And so to me, that's a big problem. That's a very big problem for me. So right now, we're going to look at some more news here because the second half hasn't started. And we're going to talk about what is still out there, and that's COVID. And it is still affecting everyone in every sector, one way or the other. Now, I will say, and I've been saying this from the beginning, if you don't have it, if you have not been diagnosed with it, you still need to stay extra careful and still ramp it up as much as you possibly can and do your social distancing. And just ramp it up because we are going into flu season, and you want to stay as safe as possible if you don't have that diagnosis and if you don't have it. Because here's the thing, what they're not talking enough of, you can come out of the wilderness, but you will still have residual effects. It could be for a lifetime, it could be for a few years, but there are changes, and that is what is not talked about enough. Now, I have friends in the medical profession, even my own doctors, we discuss it because I really make sure that I stay connected, okay? Because in my circle, we have lost people to COVID. So there are lingering effects that will stay with these people who have already been diagnosed, and thank God if they have got out of the wilderness, but it's still there. A viable vaccine will not come into play until quite some time. That is why we have to respect the scientists and respect the science of it, and respect a lot of people who are out there trying to make that viable vaccine. And then from there, maybe that will help some of the residual lingering effects that will still happen. Anybody who tells you that they don't have any lingering residual effects if they have been diagnosed with COVID and had COVID is lying. It is in your system, it's in your bloodstream, it's in everything like that. So you have to make sure that you don't get reinfected, or if you have a partner, then that's just what it is. If you don't have a partner, you need to be honest about your diagnosis, because the strains of COVID has been found in sexual contact and anything like that. So it is not worth anybody out here playing around with anybody. Don't leave your partner if your partner has it, if that's your partner. But if you just dipping and diving and all that boop, it is not worth you and your life. So there's a lot of things that we don't know still about this virus, so you just have to be careful. Because it is still there, and right now the focus is on the elections and all that good stuff that is happening, and all that bad stuff and bizarre stuff that is happening with the presidential elections and seeing who's going to be the next president going into 2021. The COVID has affected sports. It has affected every other sector. But let's talk about sports here and how it has really affected. You have people who are going back on reserve players because of their COVID-19 test. We even also have here in the news, before we get back into the game, the layoff. That's one of the big stories that's happening right now. ESPN, as well as other sport networks and many people in sports, have lost a lot of gigs. Gigs have been cut because of the COVID situation. The announcement came today that ESPN will be laying off, citing disruption amid the COVID coronavirus. And as someone who has been laid off in my lifetime, that is not a good feeling. And then you're talking about around the holidays. It is not a good feeling. People are trying to make ends meet. We're in a situation where many people could have been bailed out, or there could have been situations talked in government where some people who have megaton of bills, mortgages, car notes, things like that, that could have been a little bit more relaxed for them to get their head above water, to put food on the table, and to keep things going instead of taking L's. But we don't have that kind of partisan right now. And it's shameful because this is a pandemic. This is a virus that is affecting many people. So we're feeling the effects of this. So the cuts at ESPN is going to be about 10% of employees at the sport network due to the pandemic. And then from there, it is just so sad because it's hitting right around the time of the holidays. So it's not going to be just one big impact in one particular place. It will be wherever they are at ESPN around. And then there'll be layoffs. So that is just, a very sad moment. And one thing I can say about this particular holiday, whereas we're in a pandemic, I told Mom I definitely just wanted to go back to the regular traditional old school where it's not so flamboyant, but with so much life lost, we can think about the things that really matter, and that's just life and being with your family and friends and loved ones, and when you greet people, be more nice. Of course, you still have to be on guard for the people out there who hate, but we're all in this together, and in some way, fashion, or form, we are affected. If it's not health-wise, you're affected at some point. So we decided just to do the old school traditional Christmas that we usually do in our family, and just really think about not just gifts or anything like that, but the gifts of thankfulness and checking on people and doing what you can in a humanitarian and philanthropy way. So, one love to all of those who are being laid off in the sports segment and just all over. And one love to everybody who's trying to, make ends meet. That's for real. All right, so let's lighten it up here. Antonio Brown, there's been a lot of talk about that. I believe in people having second chances. I know that, when I talk to a lot of people about this situation, everybody has their own take, and that's what makes the world go around. People who have their differences of opinion, when you can agree to disagree without, being weird about it. But I always look at life half full. I always look at life optimistically. I'm just one of those people who just have a very strong constitution about life. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger and rise to your occasions. A lot of people, your character comes out, especially if you're wearing a mask, and your character comes out when you're faced up against obstacles, when things might look a little bleak. You need to always keep good character, treat people well, talk to people well, because it just brings more yin, brings more blessings. I think this is a real good blessing for Antonio Brown. He's grateful to be back in football. He's had self-reflection, and you just have to see how it goes. He's been keeping himself in good shape. There are a lot of things that he still will be facing. But at 32, he's come down to Tampa. They want him in Tampa. Tom Brady wants him in Tampa. And you're just going to have to see what happens. Not only physical, but get your mental straight. We've been hearing around the league that he's been put in touch with Robbins. And this is through Tom Brady. You know, motivational. And with that, well, not, let me get his name right, Tony Robbins, okay? When you have someone motivational there, and someone who can really give you that vibe of how to mentally get yourself back on track, make you see more of yourself. And then he did his own work besides Robbins. I think that's a good thing in self-reflection. Sometimes you have to hit bottom or leave a space that you're really great at, that you're destined, that's your destiny, that's your purpose, to come back and you can appreciate it more. I always say, even in my hashtags around my different platforms, life and love is not a rehearsal. You need to always be careful how you move with yourself, how you move with people, how you deal with people, things you say, and how you move. I think that he'll be okay. I'm just going to stay optimistic with that. Now, let's go to Dolphins territory here. Tua. There's been a lot of discussion about Tua, okay? Tago Baloa. This kid wants to play. He has a very good aura about him, okay? He has his beliefs. He's grounded, not jaded. We see that in the news here. Tua was trying to be, hey, there's Aaron Donald for the Rams. Aaron Donald wasn't feeling any conversation. That hurt. But he'll toughen up. But still, Tua, don't lose your good shining aura, spirit. Don't lose that. Don't lose that for nobody. In the game, from college, a little different. You're the new kid on the block. You're shining. And the talk also in sports about him auditioning for the Dolphins. Let's get that out of here. And I'm so glad came to his defense, the powers that be for Dolphins, to say there's no auditioning. He's here. And we're good with it. And he's only getting better and better. Okay? All right. Steeler news. You know the Steelers are balling. And they're balling really, really good too. But this is not so much about sports, but this is about humanity. Okay? The Steelers, who are balling, they are providing dinner for election workers in Pennsylvania as they still count the results for these elections. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Okay? So, I just think that that's wonderful because, listen, you got election workers out there that going nonstop. In my family, as I stated before, we're a family of service. We're a family of philanthropy. My grandfather was commissioner of elections in the state of South Carolina. We're a political family, family of service, philanthropy, and we've always been poignant and right there in politics, in history, in giving, in service. And I'm very, very proud of that. My mother worked the polls. I take my constitutional right very seriously to rock my vote. And if you rock your vote, that's good. We are in the midst of something that we've never seen before, and many people never thought that they would ever see before. But the thing is that those people who work the polls, those people who take great pride in the country, no matter what side you vote for, this is America, and you have to respect the Constitution. You have to respect the rights. And so I think it's just wonderful that on both sides you are seeing people who are like, let's make this make sense. Let all votes count. We're in a different time. We're in a pandemic. This pandemic has affected everything. And it is a right when you have the legal constitutional options to what? To take whatever options you want to vote, however you want to do it. And you have the right, if you didn't want to stand in line, because getting that COVID, it affects people in many different ways. No matter what, that is not something that you want. But if it's something that you already have, then you have to deal with that, because there are lingering effects. And God bless everyone in the vibe. So I think that's wonderful what the Steelers did. And so now we're going to get back into this game here, and we're going to see if Green Bay Packers can keep the lead.
Adams making moves and ends up out of bounds.
Devontae Adams has been showing out. He's been showing out, showing up, and I know that it's been great for him to be back out on the field. Packers are still holding the lead in the double digits, but you still cannot count out the 49ers, because again, with everyone, this is like dagger time for everybody. It's dagger time for everyone. You are heading your conference. People are ready to deal the L's. And you know, especially with the Steelers too, and still with the Seahawks, and even with the Chiefs, and even with Tampa, they are ready to deal the daggers, especially with the Steelers. They're ready to be the first ones to give the L. So, what I love here, here's a quote by Russell Wilson, and he gave it about 12 hours ago, and it stated, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let them be afraid." John 14:27. I love that. We all know what his faith is, and I have no problems with that at all, okay? Especially with myself. I know I'm a wild child, but still, I come from a grounded family, and on both sides it's AME. On the maternal and the paternal. Paternal in Tampa, maternal in South Carolina. My grandfather also, he was an AME minister, and we are part of the First Family. All my life, it's been about the faith, okay? So, in these times, you need the faith. Faith for everyone that everything is going to be okay. What I do love about the Packers here with the 49ers is that they really are keeping the control of this game. I'm going to start eating here real quick. And there it is. Packers on fire. We got another touchdown there. Arm is beautiful. 27-3 is where we are.
And Valdez-Scantling is working the back line, and as a quarterback, you're just saying, come back out.
A nice run and throw there by Rodgers.
That back line. Here's what he does. He comes up the field, and you can see him as he works back. And then, even with the little
nice catch.
Face match, it looked like Verrett got a hold of him, but he gets the separation that Rodgers was looking for, and it's an easy touchdown.
I'm going to go for the point.
What's been missing with Valdez-Scantling? He says confidence.
Not a lack of ability.
That's good.
He's got 2 touchdowns tonight, maybe adding to his confidence.
So there we go, 28-3. We're feeling good. We're looking good. Different team. Different teams playing. That's my pastrami sandwich. Like a pastrami hoagie. We need to look good like that. It was embarrassing to lose to the Vikings. That was on another level of, oh my God, what just happened? But when you want to talk about the games here, let's talk about it. Because we have some interesting matchups. Very interesting. Going into week 9. Right now, Packers ball when they come back. Second quarter, 21-3. No. They have to update that. So we'll do a refresh. It has not been so much of a contest for getting into the end zone. But this is not the same 49ers team. But you still cannot be so casual when it comes to anyone at this stage of the game. Buccaneers and the Giants, 25-23. That wasn't a blowout. Seahawks and 49ers, 37-27. Seahawks was like, we're not going to be doing too much more of these L's. Saints and the Bears. Saints took care of business, especially for the Packers. And that was 26-23. But still, are the Bears a threat? Absolutely. Packers need to do everything they can to keep any more L's from coming. All right? Then you got the Raiders and the Browns, 16-6. Patriots and the Bills, 21-24. Dolphins and Rams. Tua, he ain't want to talk. That's fine. You got your win. Okay? And some people are still on the fence with that, but it's okay. I think it's going to be okay. Colts and Lions. Look at the Colts there. 41-21. And the Jets and the Chiefs. Chiefs took care of business with that. 35-9. Bengals and the Titans. Bengals took care of business. 31-20. And then Vikings took care of business with us. Week 8, 28-22. Falcons dominated over the Panthers. So now, let's take a look at week 9 here. Because they are balling tonight. Right here. And we just have to see what kind of adjustments are the 49ers going to do for tonight.
It's a 25-point game now. Might be too late, but C.J. Beathard, who took over for Nick Mullins week 4 here against Philly on Sunday night.
Okay, so now check it out. Packers are doing okay. Week 9, let's look ahead. Let me go ahead and just do my picks here. Texans and the Jaguars. I'm just going to go with the Texans. I really was feeling the Jaguars past couple of years because they were electric. They were on fire. They were handing Brady the business and delivered when he was with the Patriots. Y'all remember that? Young boys talking noise, excited to be out on the field. But I just don't know what happened here. So I'm going with the Texans. Giants and Washington. Okay? Giants haven't making some noise. But I would say with this one, I would go with Washington and we'll just kind of see what happens there. That still could be a wild card for the Giants. The Colts and the Ravens. I would probably have to give the edge over to the Colts. Colts have been looking pretty good. Ravens could come back, but, you know, that's some emotion on that team that need to be checked right there. Leave the emotions off the field and, you know, get your head back in, you know. Lions and Vikings. I really don't care about this game, but it would be nice to see the Lions win this one, since it's in the NFC North, and drop the Vikings even more so. So I think this is going to be real interesting. I would say that the Vikings probably will pull this one, but it would be nice to see the Lions dominate. Okay, the Bears and the Titans. Bears have been playing really good. So have the Titans. This one, with the hate fan, I would go with the Titans. Analytically, with this one, I would probably say the Bears could pull it out. But this one is evenly matched. But as a sportcaster, I would probably say Bears. But the Titans should be able to give the L as well. Evenly matched. Panthers and the Chiefs. If the Panthers are trying to deal the Chiefs the L, this would be the talk of the town. But definitely going with the Chiefs. Seahawks and Bills. Everybody's talking about this matchup here. This is going to be very, very interesting. I feel the edge would probably go to the Seahawks. Russell's been showing out. He's prime, QB, elite. But the Bills are a problem. So this is going to be definitely a really good matchup. Okay, and that's one of those early games. Okay. Then the Broncos and the Falcons. I'm going to just say the Falcons have been balling out. So I give the edge to them. Let's see what happens. Raiders and the Chargers. With this one, I've been kind of holding down the Chargers. And I don't know. I've been getting a little bit obliterated. So I would have to say with this one, I'm going to see what Raider Nation is going to do. Okay. Dolphins and the Cardinals. Can't count off those Cardinals because look who handed the L. But I'm going with the Dolphins. Okay. Steelers and Cowboys. If ever there was going to be an L given, it's going to be the wildest wild card ever for this one. So I would have to say, come on, Steelers. But that would be the talk of the town. I don't see it. Saints and the Buccaneers. That's the last evening game there. This is always a good matchup, okay? With these two phenomenal quarterbacks right here. But I would give the edge to the Buccaneers. But not a big edge, to be clear. Then Monday night is going to be the Patriots and the Jets. I know a lot of people are going to say Monday night is going to be a snooze fest. But still, you love the game, watch the game. Let's see what happens. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this game. It's been quite the. Okay? So, how are you all feeling about your teams? Whether your team is in it to win it or whatever. Definitely not one of those flip-flop teams. But I really am very proud of the Steelers. Look how the meat just hangs. This is just like one of those hoagies. And you know, some people are like, hoagies? Look, I've been in Philadelphia too much. Spent my summers up there, family. Okay, South Philly, North Philly. And that's why we called them hoagies. And this